Hello, lovelies. I hope you're doing good. I'm doing okay. Uh, if things go the way that I'm planning to do them, this will be the second video that I'm doing today on Patreon and probably put it on YouTube a little later. I always give things to my patrons first. But I'm having a birthday tomorrow. Miko's back there. See, right there. There's his nose. Wait, there's his nose. And I can't do this. And his eye. Miko. Anyway, he's having a time. I took him for a walk, and he did not want to go. I made him walk a mile, and I basically dragged that poor dog a mile because he did not want to go. But I drove that far to walk a mile. By God, I was going to walk a mile, and it was either his stubborn or mine, and my stubborn one. I'll just put it that way. So, anyway, I'm having a birthday tomorrow, and 60 that's a pretty big one. I'm pretty sure it's 60, right? Let's see. 25 minus 1965. 60. 60. So, I had to get the calculator because I have gone more than once. I think 58. I thought I was 59. There's been 2 years where I was a year off, so I figured I would just make sure before I tell the whole world I'm turning 60. But, be honest with you, I'm just glad to be alive. I was thinking about that earlier today. When I was a kid, man, I never, ever, I started doing drugs and alcohol when I was 11. Started sneaking cigarettes, and I was smoking weed, and then sneaking in and getting mama's Valium out of her purse. And one thing turned into another. And I never thought that I would live. I remember when I thought 30 was old. So it's shocking to me as it is to anybody else that I made it this far. But I guess God had a purpose, right? And so that's what we're doing. I am enjoying writing again. I told you in one of my last videos that I kind of needed. I could see my creative self just fading off into the oblivion, and I had to have a really difficult conversation with myself because I'm too old to learn a trade. I'd love to be a carpenter, but I can't even pick up a piece of sheetrock, so I'd be in big trouble. And I'm too ugly to be a model. I'm too nervous to be a hitman, so I'm stuck with writing songs. And there's a few people that think I do it pretty good, and it took me my whole life to learn how to do this. So when they came to me and offered me the deal, I said, man, I feel like that's exactly what I need, because I'm not writing for myself. I'm not writing for the love of writing. I'm not listening to music because I love music. I'm listening to audiobooks and podcasts. And I can't remember the last time that I listened to a song and was just moved. There's this terrible thing that happens if you're not careful. We get into music because we love music. But then you kind of get to this thing where I can't enjoy it because I'm critiquing. I'm thinking, oh man, they missed that. They should have used this word instead of that one. Oh, well, an electric guitar would be great. That it just ruins the whole. It just takes all of the special out of it. So it was obvious I was not writing for me. So I thought having the accountability, having somebody else that was, basically waiting, hey, if you give me some songs, we can pitch them. And it worked like a charm. I wouldn't do it for me, but I started writing for the company, and now I'm kind of in the middle of it. We were both shocked at how many songs I turned in because I hit the ground, and because I had had a 3-year break. Apparently there was a lot building up that wanted to come out. So I've turned in a bunch of songs. We had a meeting the other day, and he was like, man, I don't know what you were expecting, Travis, but I was not expecting this quality or quantity of songs from this deal. So it was really a great compliment that he paid me. And then I laughed and said, the truth is, I wasn't expecting it either. I asked them to only book at the very most 2 times a week. That gives me time to read books and to watch movies and to listen to the cashier when I'm going through and people in line. I'm always listening and looking, because this part of my career, this stage of my career, the hardest thing to find is a great idea that I haven't written many, many times. And most of us, if we were honest, when you get to a certain amount of career, and you're just rewriting the same thing over and over and over again and just trying to get a better version of it. You know, you got love songs, you got breakup songs, which is technically a love song. You got party songs. You have kind of self-help or coming-of-age songs. What did I miss? There's not much. And so you're doing a version of those. So, right after I signed the deal, I got on a bus with an artist, and that really kind of jump-started the publishing deal. I had my own bus, which was awesome. And so he would get out and we'd do sound check, and he would play the show, and we'd drive all night and show up somewhere else. I was out for 3 days. But all I didn't even want to get off the bus. All I did was put down ideas, and I worked. And so we wrote 5 or 6 songs in 3 days, but I had another 8 or 9 parts of ideas that we never got around to. And this was one of those. I remember playing him a piece of it, and he liked it, but we just never got to it. And then there was somebody, I can't even remember who it is, my publishing company said, hey, do you have anything kind of half done, because we can't seem to, this artist, he can't find time to write, but maybe you could send him something unfinished, and if he likes it, he can kind of finish it. And I'm like, yeah. So I worked, I took a little bit of an idea and made it half a song, and we sent it over there. And it sat for a week or two, and almost as soon as I sent it off, I started thinking, I should have just finished this, because that's going to be a life-changing song. If only emotionally, it's going to be a life-changing song, and I wish I didn't have to share it with anybody. And before too long, the head boss of the company that I'm at, he was sending me snippets with these words in it, like what's happening with this, because he fell in love with it. And so anyway, I got it back, and I finished it myself. So I wrote 100% of this, and I'm so proud of it. It's just me, and I call my good buddy up, because I'm a mediocre guitar player at best, and everything I do sounds exactly alike. And I love the song enough to just kind of put something special on it. So I called up my dear friend Sam Hawksey and asked him, would he just help me do a real clean guitar vocal and a performance of it. So it's a little unnerving, because there's nothing to hide my voice behind. You know, I've been playing you some band tracks, and my voice is kind of hidden. This is stark, and you can hear some of the enunciation problems that I have. But you know, I quit complaining about that a long time ago. And anyway, so I'm going to do it backwards, though. Usually I play the song and then I read you the lyric, but I shared something with somebody the other day, and if you listen to it was the guy that I work with at the publishing company. I said, because he was talking about my catalog for the past 20 years and songs he loved, and and whatnot. And I said, you know what's funny? If you really dig down into my catalog, most every song is really like trying to leave some information for my son after I'm gone. He's 22 now. You know, my dad died when I was 21. And there were so many times where I wanted somebody to call and go, how do you get through this? How do you do this? How do you process these kinds of emotions? How do you do a mortgage? You know, and I never had that. And my son is so much smarter than I was at his age. And he's probably not going to need the help. But I'm all about leaving those breadcrumbs. I'm leaving the legacy. And so that's a little secret from me to you. If you listen to my songs, you'll hear little information that if he wanted to in his mid-30s, if I was gone, he could listen and kind of get I think a pretty fair, they're little snapshots, but I think you could get a pretty fair idea of how to be an adult man and wander through this life, you know. So anyway, if there was ever one that was to my son, it was this one, but I also wanted to give it to you because I am so grateful for the Patreons and the people that bought my records and showed up to my shows. You've made such a difference in my life, and even though I haven't been able to play out in a long time, we still have this, and so this is heartfelt when I read you this, but I mean it. I wish you love. I wish you well. I wish you God when you go through hell. I wish you wind beneath your sails till you get where you're going. I hope you learn from your mistakes. I hope you learn to use the brakes. I hope you love till your heart aches, 'cause the hurt is worth the knowing. And most of all, I wish you time. That's the one thing you can't buy. And when your asking turns to why and you feel a little lost, remember who you are, remember where you're from, and run straight for the daylight when the daylight feels a long way off. And if you need me, I'll be here. You can hear it in the spirit. You can hear it in the spirit in the lyric. You can hear it in this song. May you find peace. May you find sleep. May you find may your dreams land on their feet. May you get stuck up you know what creek. Sam is from Australia, and that line threw him. He thought I was saying something wrong. Like, what kind of creek is it? And I'm like, well, we have a term in the States, you know, you get shit creek, right? And so anyway, that's may you get stuck up you know what creek, and don't give up on rowing. I wish you faith to face your fears. I wish I could dry all your tears. I wish you wisdom beyond your years to watch your children growing. So there you go. I love you. Here's my song. I wish you love. I wish you well. I wish you God when you go through hell. I wish you wind beneath yourself till you get where you're going. I hope you learn from your mistakes. I hope you learn to use your brakes. I hope you love till your heart aches, 'cause the hurt is worth the knowing. Most of all, I wish you time. That's the one thing you can't buy when your asking turns to why, and you feel a little lost. Remember who you are, remember where you're from, and run straight for the daylight when the daylight feels a long way off. May you find peace, may you find sleep. May all your dreams land on their feet. May you get stuck up you know what creek, and don't give up on rowing. Most of all, I wish you time. That's the one thing you can't buy when your asking turns to why, and you feel a little lost. Remember who you are, remember where you're from, and run straight for the daylight when the daylight feels a long way off. And if you need me, I'll be here in the spirit, in the lyric. You can hear me in this song. I wish you faith to face your fears. I wish I could dry all your tears. I wish you wisdom beyond your years to watch your children